Warning. On this podcast, we take the cases seriously, but not ourselves.
Although we may attempt to lighten the mood at times.
Our episodes contain graphic descriptions that some listeners may find disturbing. Listener discretion is advised. I've joined the gym.
We have.
We have, but it's more of an announcement for me. You've joined many a gym in your time.
Many a gym, yeah.
This is the first time I've ever joined a gym. I have joined the gym.
The gym.
That's what people say, don't they? A lot of the time they don't say, I've joined a gym. I've joined the gym. It's almost collective, that kind of way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gonna say, I wouldn't call it the gym. I think it's shite.
No, but it's a gym. And I've now joined the legions of people who go to the gym.
Yeah, we're on a dual membership.
I go to the gym now.
So she's got a personal trainer for free.
That's Neil. I haven't gone to like a bougie gym where you get like assigned one. It's Neil. I'm basically just annoying Neil.
Yeah, that's what I was meaning.
Yeah.
You're doing all right.
Well,
no,
I've got in through the door. So the first time we went was the other day. Yeah. Now, my anxiety of going in there. So
yeah, I could feel it.
You can feel it in the air, can't you? You can smell it.
Yeah.
My anxiety was like two different things, right? The first thing is just being in a gym. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to do something wrong.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a tit of myself.
I did say to you, I'm not going to let you hurt yourself.
The second thing was kind of fear of the unknown. You're laughing, but I'm being deadly serious, right? So the second time we went, I'm still a bit nervous and I still need Neil to help me and show me stuff, right? But I can't, if I don't know what I'm doing, what the process is, it tears me apart.
Yeah.
I have to know, right, I go here, I go this way, that way, this is where I go to get what. I have to have it planned out in my head. I'm a mess. I'm a creature of habit. I need to know what's happening. And I was just terrified. When we walked in that door, Neil, we went upstairs and I was like, right, okay, we're in now. That's the first hurdle, right?
Well, we didn't go up the stairs.
Well, we actually went in the lift, yeah.
Yeah, and I said never again.
No,
that lift,
very
I
dodgy.
thought it was going to shit itself.
Yeah. But we went, when you go in, you scan in, and I was like, right, that's the first hurdle over. There's the changing room, right? I know where the changing room is. Grand. Let's go up to the gym. And then you see through the doors the people in the gym. I was like, oh, that's a lot of people. I don't like this.
Yeah, there was a lot.
And I started getting a bit nervous. I was like, oh, the gym is enough for me. Never mind all these actual human beings.
Yeah.
They're using it. I wasn't told about that. We walk in the door and I felt people looking at me, right? They looked at Neil.
She doesn't belong here.
Exactly. They looked at Neil and they went, oh, he's clearly new to this gym, but not to the gym. They looked at me and went, what's she doing here? She got lost on the way to the vending machine. Do you know what I mean? It just took a wrong turn.
Yeah.
They can smell it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're doing well. The first day we went, I didn't want it to be too long for you. I didn't want you to do too much. It was literally just to get you in the door.
Yeah.
I wanted you to get that out of the way. So we only did about 45 minutes and then left. And because you hadn't done too much, when you said, should we go again tomorrow? I was like, yeah.
Well, my main reason for going the next day is it was too busy for me. So I said, can we go for 6:30 in the morning when it opens? A bit quieter.
Yeah.
And it was still busy.
The only thing I'll say negative.
About me?
Yes.
Oh.
We've only been 2 days.
Yeah.
And I've lost count how many times you've said to me, should we go on the treadmill? And I've kept saying, I don't do treadmills. You can go on the treadmill, but I'm not going on the treadmill. And I'll tell you why. To me, the treadmill is the urinals in a gym. You do not go on the next treadmill next to someone unless you have to.
I did notice that. There's people, by choice.
They turn it into a competition.
It's weird.
So what'll happen is, if I go on the treadmill, say it goes like 1, on the levels, it goes like 1 to 50. and I've got it at 20. Some twat will go on the treadmill next to me, even though none of the others are taken, they'll go on the one next to me and they'll put it on 25.
Ugh.
So then I have to put it on 30.
But no, see, you're just as bad then. What would they do? Right, so let's say we go to the gym, because I go to the gym now.
Yeah. Say it again.
I don't know if you might have missed the point of this starter, but I am a gym goer now.
Yeah. She's even ordered from My Protein.
I did, actually. Well, I had to, because Neil kept buying like protein smoothies, and I said, Neil, stop. They're too expensive. Just get the protein.
Yeah. 11 quid for 2. Them smoothies.
Yeah, that's too much. Anyway, what I was going to say is, if I go on the treadmill, right, and someone gets on the treadmill next to me when there's open spaces, if I just get off the treadmill and move down and go to another one, do you reckon they'll be like, oh, what's her fucking problem? Do you think they'll think I'm the arsehole?
Yes.
Oh, that's fine with me anyway.
Yes,
I think
but anyone,
I'm a gym goer, so, I can do that.
You'd be the arsehole to them, but anyone with a brain in that gym watching, I'll be like, fair play. I
don't need you sweating and breathing all over me.
Yeah.
Like if it happens to be that the machine you want to use is next to me, I understand that.
Yeah.
But you don't deliberately do that. There was a fella next to you and I thought he was about to die. I thought he was about to have a heart attack.
Yeah, I kept...
Take a break. Just take a break for a second.
I kept checking on him.
Yeah. No good.
Yeah. But yeah, other than that, you've been grand.
We have confirmed that I do, in fact, I've said it many times, but that I do, in fact, have the upper body strength of a kitten. My shoulders are shot to shit. Like, I'm not just saying I'm weak. I mean, I need like rehab. I'm buggered.
But there is one good thing come out of it. Because I kept saying to Megan that she's sturdy, and now she's going to the gym. Because you are, aren't you? You're now a gym member.
Megan, now attend the gym.
Yeah. So we're in the middle of designing some merch for any listeners who are into fitness.
Well, no, to be fair, we were doing that before. We did want to do this.
Yeah.
But now we've got even more of a theme with it.
Yeah, you're wanting it accelerated.
I'm going to exclusively wear it to the gym.
Yeah. So yeah, we're going to do some t-shirts and hoodies.
Well, we've got a couple that we're going to be doing. So one of them is flank, and that's a great one to wear to the gym, because you may be going to work on your flanks.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Another one we have is cadaver pig in training. So you can let everyone know, and they don't need to go near you because you're in training.
Yeah.
It's also, it's twofold there.
Yeah.
And then the other one, like Neil mentioned, we're going to do a new top that says, stay sturdy.
Yeah.
Both mind and body, Neil.
Yeah. Oh, and grim and bear it.
Grim and bear it, yes.
Yeah. So
Love that one.
I was in the middle of trying to find a way of having a bear dressed as a Grim Reaper. Trying to make it a bit cutesy. Yeah,
you want a mix of dark and cute.
Yeah.
Find the middle ground.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, though, going to the gym, Neil, as I do, it's done wonders for my superiority complex. Because one thing I had previously was, we discussed on the podcast, once we hit the 10-year mark in our relationship, we became superior to
everyone.
Well, no, not everyone, just anyone who has not been together 10 years. If you've been together less than 10 years, you can't tell us anything.
You don't know shit.
Now, being the athlete that I am,
the
physicality I possess, I am adding that in.
But it's a good starter gym for you, but I'm wanting to move to another gym already. When it comes to the cable machines, there needs to be more than one of each. And there's no punch bag. That pissed me off.
Yeah, but see, this is the problem with you. I understand you want a punch bag. I also understand you're not a fan of treadmills, but you have an aversion to treadmills. You won't even mention it. Every time I've said treadmill, you kind of curl your lip a bit. The punch bag thing, it's not necessarily going to be standard in a gym, though. You know what I mean?
So
it's only a small gym.
When I used to work out, not for boxing, when I was just going to a gym, it was always rowing machine, and I'd do that for about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I'd do 45 minutes of weights. That's it.
Right.
I never went near a treadmill, never needed to.
But you not get what I'm saying? Like, you're going to be doing more weights than me. So when you piss off to do that, I can just go on the treadmill, just so I'm still moving, I'm still doing something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you do you.
No,
but you kept saying, are we going on the treadmill? No.
Because there's times when you're looking around, if someone was using the machine you want, so I'm thinking, well, do you want to just go on the treadmill just so you're still, even just go for a walk on it kind of thing?
No, I'd rather crawl on my face.
I've learned that now. Again, you can't all be as physically superior as myself. I understand that now.
Yeah.
Now, before we get into the case today, have a little bit of a shout out for another podcast.
We do indeed.
I see what you did there. So the podcast we are shouting out is Rebuttal. You're a fan, aren't you, Neil?
I am.
You've been getting well into it.
I have.
So the Rebuttal podcast is about comedy, case law, and chaos. Practicing attorney and TikTok extraordinaire Reb Maisel breaks down bizarre, chaotic, and intriguing cases and anecdotes from the legal field that you've probably never heard of. With Reb's expertise, she's going to bring you some hilarious and informative takes on the weird, the awesome, the horrifying, the inspiring, and the everything in between happening inside and outside of the courtroom. Or let's say you've just finished listening to a particularly heavy true crime case, maybe a 4-part series on the Yorkshire Ripper. Why don't you head on over to TikTok, where you can find Reb's incredibly entertaining, iconic courtroom transcript series. Find Rebuttal wherever you get your podcasts.
So, what have you got for us today?
Today, Neil, we are going to be talking about a young woman named Jung Yoo-jung.
Okay.
Now, before we get into it, I just want to note that this case takes place in South Korea. A lot of the time, the name of the person who is a victim of murder is often kept from the public. And so for that reason, we will not be naming them. In 2023, Jung Yoo-jung was 23 years old and living with her grandfather in Busan, South Korea. Jung had actually been raised by her grandfather as, when she was just 1 year old, her mother was reported to have left the family. And by the time she was 6 years old, her father had also abandoned his parental responsibilities.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, and understandably, this probably would have been incredibly difficult for Jung to understand why her parents chose to do this. And she was said to have held a lot of resentment against her parents for this.
Well, you couldn't help but take it personal.
I mean, it's not great, is it?
No.
I mean, hopefully her grandfather was good to her.
Well, he probably was. She stuck around. Even as an adolescent, she was still around him.
Well, I'd hope she would have been as an adolescent.
Yeah, and he didn't do a bonk.
Yeah. That would have been incredibly bad luck.
Yeah.
As she grew older, Jung began to recede into isolation. She was a quiet person who didn't have any close friends and rarely left her home. After finishing her secondary education, she had become withdrawn for a period of about 5 years and had never been employed. She did attempt to continue her education, but had failed entrance exams. More recently, she had looked into a career in civil services and had been preparing for these exams. But it's thought that, overall, Jung began to view her previous attempts as an overarching failure, and she had taken this quite hard. With her feelings of alienation and frustration with her lack of progress in life growing, she began to develop an interest which allowed her to escape into a seemingly alternative reality. Her new interest was a particularly heavy and unhealthy interest in true crime.
Sounds familiar.
You would say my interest is unhealthy?
Some of the stuff you've told me you shouldn't be looking into.
No, but there's a difference between wanting to learn about something. Like when we covered Karen Greenlee, I'm kind of having to dive into the knowledge, the backstory of necrophilia. It's not that I love necrophilia. I think that's the difference.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was a really rough one to look into, by the way. I was even getting the ick with the Karen Greenlee case. So Jung, not Megan, she became consumed by the subject matter, and not long after this, Jung began to formulate a plan which she would soon put into action. The plan revolved around a mobile app, an app which is designed to match up parents with private tutors for their children. And Jung decided to get on this app and pose as the mother of a child who was in need of English lessons.
Why?
For
fun?
No, definitely not for fun. She was trying to lure someone, arrange a meeting.
Right.
And this was her.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like a prank. And I thought, it's a bit of a shit prank.
Not funny, that is it?
No.
No. Now, on this app, she began speaking with a 26-year-old woman, and soon Jung scheduled a session with this tutor for the 26th of May, 2023. Having already laid the groundwork as the mother, now it was time for her to play the role of the daughter, even going as far as to buy a school uniform in order to pose as the teenage girl.
Oh.
It's not good, is it?
It's a bit weird, isn't it?
It is. On the 26th of May, Jung arrives at the home of this tutor under the guise of receiving lessons. With Jung being shorter and quite young looking as well as the uniform, the tutor didn't suspect anything and allowed her into her home. It was at about 5:40 p.m. that Jung launched an attack on the woman. And this attack resulted in over 110 stab wounds.
Fucking hell.
Yes, this was a vicious, frenzied attack, not just by the sheer amount of injuries inflicted, but also the locations of the injuries. She did not just stab to kill. There were non-fatal blows, such as wounds to the tutor's palms. Once the woman had died as a result of her injuries, Jung then exits the property and goes back to her home. She later returns to the tutor's residence and begins to dismember the woman's body. She also severed her fingertips in an attempt to hinder identification.
Vicious little git, isn't she?
Just a tad. Now, the reason she had left earlier is because she'd gone to get a suitcase, which she would then use to conceal and transport some of the remains.
Yeah, you wouldn't like to,
meet her in a dark alley.
Well, I was just going to say coerce with her. That's the word, isn't it?
Converse?
Is it converse? What's
Converse is a shoe.
Oh.
Huh?
Well, what word do I mean then?
You mean interact with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's coerce.
That's kind of what I'm getting at. No, coerce is a different thing.
So what word are you on about?
That's what I'm trying to get to. Are you saying to talk to interact with? Like I said, you wouldn't want to run
be around.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the word?
I think you were trying to say converse.
No, you just said that's a shoe.
No, I did, yes. But you were saying coerce.
Yeah.
But that's not the right word.
No, I get that.
No, but you're the one who said it. I'm trying to ask you what... You need to do some of the legwork here. It's your words.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to be around her.
Yeah, but that's what he said initially. You wouldn't want to run into her in a dark alleyway.
No, I'm just saying it instead of trying to say the word.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I wouldn't want to be around her.
You don't want to meet this woman, ever.
No.
It would be preferable that you keep a distance.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, once this gruesome task was complete, Jung's faux school uniform was saturated in blood, and so she decided to change into a set of this woman's clothing.
It's just weird.
Yeah, it's creepy, isn't it? Not loving that. After this, she leaves the home with the suitcase and gets into a taxi. She gets the driver to take her out to a wooded area by the river where she disposes of the suitcase and the remains.
Wait, this driver didn't think it's a bit weird?
Oh, he did. The taxi driver who had driven Jung to the river, he was a bit sus, not just of the location she wanted to be taken to with a suitcase in tow, but what really had grabbed his attention...
The blood dripping out of the suitcase.
The blood-stained suitcase.
Fuck off.
Yes.
I was saying it as a joke.
No. Jung, she seemed to, she kind of... A lot of premeditation here. But then after the fact, she was kind of like, oh, we'll just kind of rush through this bit.
You have to pay about 50 or 100 quid if you sprog up in a taxi.
Yeah.
So I wonder what it'd be if you got blood on the seats or in the boot.
Well, I mean, I think at this stage, either the police are going to take the hit for him or he's going to just have to take the hit.
Oh, no, that's not on. She has to pay.
With what? She has no money. And, she's soon going to be caught out.
Yeah. It's very stupid, that, though. But you said she were failing her exams. So she weren't sharpest pencil in the pencil case. To get someone to drive her out to the fucking woods.
Yeah.
With a bloodstained suitcase.
Yeah.
Even I wouldn't do that.
Even you?
And I was ungradable.
What about your father, who was a taxi man? Do you think he would have picked up on it? Do you think the penny would have dropped?
Well, my dad would always... He'd be the one to put the suitcases in the boot.
I bet he fucking was.
And he would have picked that up and gone, you can get to fuck with that.
Yeah.
What's all that about?
That's what he say.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, this taxi driver, the penny did drop, and he decided to call the police.
Finally, someone with some fucking sense.
Well, the thing about it is, right, so again, like I said, not just the location, not just the bloody suitcase, but he had seen her go to dump the suitcase.
Fuck off.
She'd obviously said, keep the meter running, mate. Back in a sec. Got some business to take care of. Do you know what I mean?
And just saw him, and he just saw her volley a fucking suitcase.
Pretty much.
Into the woods.
Now, the good thing with this situation, though, I mean, if you can't, I mean, the poor driver is probably traumatized. But because he had witnessed all this, he straight away went to the police. And that meant that because they'd been notified straight away, they were able to recover the suitcase containing the woman's remains, which was at the side of the Nakdong River.
Wait, so when she asked him to keep the meter running, and he saw her volley a fucking blooded suitcase into the woods, he waited.
I'm guessing so.
He let her back in the car.
Yeah, but what I'm saying to you is, right, think about yourself in that moment, right? So there could be two things going through his mind. Either, I don't know what to do, I'm scared here, I don't know what to do.
Run her
or
off.
Listen, Neil. Or he's thinking, right, I have to be able to identify her. I need to take note of the exact location where she's dumping this item. So he could well have been going through the motions to immediately go to police. He could have been noting down, it's by this pillar. That's where I'm parked up.
Yeah.
I know she's gone, you know what I mean?
Me personally, I think I would just be, right, I need to run her off.
That's not for you to decide, though. Why do you always think you're judge, jury, and executioner? This is your problem. Now, on the 27th of May, the day following the murder, Jung was apprehended and the blood-soaked uniform and further remains were found within her home. While speaking with police, Jung's statement kept changing. She initially told the police that she had only moved the body after someone else had committed the murder.
In her gaff?
No, it was in the Tudor's home, but then she had moved the remains.
Right.
She then said that she had killed the woman, but this was after they'd gotten into an argument.
Yeah, because you often, like it does happen, where someone can die from an argument, but to then dismember the body.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a bit much. I wouldn't believe that.
There's like this slight, and I mean ever so slight, if there was an accidental death, that someone could panic and say they didn't immediately call emergency services or something like that. I can get my head around someone panicking.
Yeah.
To dismember the body, call a taxi. Oh, don't forget getting changed, going back to your house, coming back to the scene.
Yeah.
All this carry on. Come on.
Not even getting a suitcase big enough to fit the whole lot in.
Yeah. That is actually quite odd when you think about it. She spent so long planning this out.
Yeah, but you said she was so small and petite. You don't know how big this tutor was.
Yeah.
So it might have been hard for her to carry the whole lot at once.
Possibly.
Yeah.
But again, I feel like if you're going to this length, she probably would have sussed out the woman a bit more.
Well, maybe if she got a gym membership, she'd have been able to lift a bit more.
She clearly isn't as sturdy as I.
Exactly.
Now, in the end, Jung did admit to the murder, and she claimed that she killed, quote, out of curiosity, and this had come from her fascination with murder.
I swear to God, if at some point in the future a listener of ours is like, I was listening to the Mortal Musings podcast and I just got the idea from them to go and do X, Y, and Z.
Don't be dragging our name through the mud.
Yeah. Like, I know I criticise killers' methods and improve them, but I don't mean go and do it.
If any of yous are psychotic enough to go out and do anything like this, blame it on one of them big corporate podcasts. Yeah. Don't be coming for the little guys.
No, just go for Joe Rogan.
I mean, we should all be doing that for anything, any issues in life. So, like I said, killed out of curiosity because of her fascination with true crime. Quote, curiosity was piqued from reading novels and watching TV programs on murder. She said that she wanted to, quote, give murder a try.
Just give it a try.
Give it a try. Give it a shot.
That's some sentence, that.
Yeah. Again, I don't want to bring it back around to me, but it's like me, like giving the gym a try. See how I get on.
Yeah. Now you're an extraordinaire. Is that a word?
Yeah. CCTV footage showed Jung enter and exit the woman's home multiple times. Now, Neil, the footage of her walking down the street, she had a pep in her step.
Oh, like skipping.
She was bouncing along without a care in the world.
Right.
It's quite disturbing to watch, given what we know.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like, she was clearly enjoying this. She was happy with what she had done.
So it's would you say it's a thrill kill then?
Yeah, I suppose so.
And she was thrilled.
She was absolutely thrilled, Neil. No, I'll show you the footage later. Like a, you know when you see like a little kid walking down the street and it's that kind of bouncy, almost side to side, like hair swaying.
The ones you want to push off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of those.
Right.
Yeah. Now, contrary to Jung's claim that she had killed, quote, out of curiosity, she had put a huge amount of thought and planning into this murder. Not only for the fact that she had set up a meeting, bought the uniform and posed as a teenager, but she had also contacted over 50 people to inquire about lessons.
Oh, could you imagine if you were on that list?
Yeah, it seems very much like she was selecting the exact person she wanted to attack.
So do you think she'd have done more?
100%.
Right.
So that's, you know, like you just said, thrill kill. I think it was, yes. But I definitely think it had the potential, had she not been such a fucking idiot.
Because of the pep in the step.
The pep in the step will get you every time.
Yeah.
Now, it was not specified what weapon exactly she used, but it is noted that she did take it with her to the Tudors' home. So again, it's not like any kind of opportunistic thing. She came prepared to kill. When looking through her search history, this just furthered the argument that Jung had spent quite a lot of time not only looking into murder, but how to leave no trace. One of the words in her search history was patricide, and this is to kill your own father. And she was reported to have actually called her own father and suggested her intent to harm or kill him.
She suggested?
She had made a threat or something.
Right.
I'm not saying she suggested to him, I might kill you later. How do you feel about that?
That's what I thought you meant.
No, she had said something that the father had been like, oh, no good.
You know when you talk about how she'd done all this, you know, research and planning and stuff, then why call a taxi with a suitcase soaked in blood to then dispose of it in front of the taxi driver? You clearly didn't plan.
No, this is what I'm saying to you. Jung had clearly planned out the lead up and the murder itself. She had not thought about afterwards.
Right.
As much as she had kind of like clearly looked into a few things here and there, she hadn't really thought about what it's going to be like once it's put into practice.
Yeah.
She had also searched, quote, murder without a corpse in an attempt to gain information on how to conceal the body. But I don't think Jung learned anything from this, or at least didn't retain the information. While in custody, Jung underwent a psychopathy test.
What's that?
Psychopath test.
Oh, okay.
It's reported that the average person in South Korea scores around 15 out of 40. And I believe you're looking at between 25 to 30 points to be considered a psychopath.
Right.
Now, I'm not entirely sure. I did read that Jung's exact score was not made public, but that her score exceeded the average. But I also read elsewhere that she scored 28. So who the fuck knows? But either way, it wasn't great.
Yeah.
Now, I actually started looking into these tests and how different countries scored. So on a study of dark personality traits, meaning those who look for personal gain, have little regard for others, psychopathy, narcissism, that kind of territory. Some countries in Asia, China, Japan, South Korea, they scored higher. Scandinavian countries, they ranked among the lowest.
I can see that.
The US and the UK, they're sort of low to mid-range, although the UK did score higher compared to the US.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't see that.
I didn't think you would, somehow.
That's wrong.
You don't think the Brits scored high?
Higher than America.
Right, no, I understand what you're saying about the US. I get it.
Yeah.
But just look at the history.
Was that minus
of the UK.
Was that minus Florida?
That would be a fair assumption. I can't, I want to argue with you, but I can't on that point.
Yeah.
So it's thought that, at least in part, this is due to learned behaviour. And there was a correlation between those who scored high on the dark personality traits and ASC, which is adversive societal conditions, which include statistics on corruption, homicides, inequality and poverty. Although China, Japan and South Korea scored high with dark traits, their ASC was mid-range. Scandinavian countries' ASC, along with dark traits, again, ranked the lowest. In the US, Nevada ranked highest for dark personalities, followed by New York, South Dakota, and Texas.
Where's Florida?
Not there.
It's all lies. It's all fucking lies.
The Nevada one, I feel, checks out.
Yeah, that one.
I can believe that. Now, lowest ranking in the US was Vermont, Utah, Maine, and Oregon.
Yeah, I can see that. Well,
do you think?
You don't really know much about them states. No one really.
Utah, I'm like, I don't know about that one.
No, yeah. Like, I wanted to live in Maine at one point.
You've told me many a time.
Yeah. They love, like, the British lifestyle with pubs and stuff like that. But that's the sort of place where you'll end up with a bear in your back garden.
I don't need that in my life.
Yeah. And then when they get to winter, good luck driving on them fucking roads.
I do hear good things about Vermont, though. Never heard a bad word about it.
It's like an old biddies sort of place, isn't it?
I don't know.
I don't know where
I hear that it's nice. That's I always hear people going for breaks away to Vermont. It's romanticized. Yeah. It's like when people...
Like Benidorm.
No, absolutely not. It's like when people talk about Cotswolds and all that.
Yeah.
It's like this nice romanticized fucking thing. Now, I've never fucking been, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, people talk about England like that in general. It's like, have you been?
Yeah.
Have you fucking been?
Yeah. That, like the amount of, like an American podcaster we've been talking to, and they're like, oh, I'm going over to the UK, and it's like, make sure you go to Sheffield.
It's right. Ireland is in the same boat. Ireland, beautiful, gorgeous country.
Yeah.
But then you talk about Dublin and it's like, oh,
yeah,
you don't know what you're in for.
Like I said, they'll be like, oh, I'm going over to the UK. Oh, they wouldn't say it like that.
The UK?
We're going over to the UK, and I'll be like, make sure you go to Sheffield. And they'll be like, oh, well, we're going to Edinburgh. Go to Glasgow as well.
Yeah.
I
actually do like Glasgow, though. I really do.
Never been.
What are you saying? No, it does have a reputation, but I like it.
Yeah.
Do you know whereabouts your family are from in Scotland?
I think it's Glasgow.
Oh.
I think.
Yeah. So it's just a bit of the self-hatred coming out when you're saying these things.
Could be.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the dark personality traits test. Carry on. So South Dakota scored high on dark personality, but this was high against their ASC score. Yeah. Whereas Louisiana and Mississippi scored low on the dark compared to their ASC score, which was high. So
I would believe this, with UK ranking higher than America, I'd believe it if it was dark humour.
No, it's about the fact that you're bastards.
Yeah.
You care more about yourself than anyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it checks out, doesn't it? But what I'm getting at here is there's definitely a bit of a mix, but overall, I do think there's an argument for how societal and environmental factors do affect people.
Mm.
Would you agree?
Did you not hear me? I went,
Yeah, I felt like it was a fob off one. So I'm going to just ask you directly. Do you agree? It's the nature versus nurture thing.
Yeah. No, I can see your point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't agree, but you can see my point. Anyway, back to Jung. While investigating Jung's crimes, they also uncovered a few other disturbing details. They uncovered that Jung had previously attempted to murder others.
And nothing happened?
No, because she didn't end up going through with it.
So they just uncovered what she was planning?
Yes.
Right.
Basically. So just days prior to the murder, Jung had met another woman on a second-hand trading app and arranged to meet on a walking path. But due to the high number of passers-by in the area, she decided against going through with it. Now, on that same app, she began communicating with a teenage boy. But he became suspicious of her odd manner. So he never ended up meeting up with her, going through with anything.
Like with the second-hand selling thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've done that before where on Facebook Marketplace. No, it wasn't. It was Gumtree. In the UK, they use Gumtree. And I put some up for sale. I can't remember what it was. Someone wanted to meet up to pay cash. And they gave me a postcode. And I think I talked about it before. And I put the postcode in and looked.
S2, was it?
No. And I'd put the postcode in and it was just like a dirt fucking path.
Oh.
And I was like, absolutely fucking not. So I told him to get shagged.
We had that before when we were buying a car for private seller. Do you remember?
Yes.
And they lived out in the sticks.
Yes.
And we were like, we're going to get murdered. This is a bit too far.
It was just one of them where the roads just kept getting dirtier and narrower.
Yeah.
The longer you went. And there were a couple of points where I was like, I'm turning around in a minute. If this keeps up.
Fearing for our life, weren't we?
I was fearing for my life to go and buy some eggs once.
Yeah.
We actually put a video of that up on Patreon.
But that wasn't that, that you were going to get killed. It was just that the car was going to fall apart.
Well, no, because we were going down a fucking, like a dirt track in a wood.
Yeah, you could hear the banjos in the background, couldn't you?
I was waiting for someone to fucking tell me to squeal like a pig.
In the case against Jung, the prosecution believed that her crimes may have been influenced by her psychopathic personality. They believe that her motive was, quote, a feeling of resentment and anger towards her family, helplessness due to continued failures such as college entrance and employment, and admiration for the lives of others.
See, what I don't get is, when it comes to true crime, compared to movies and stuff, right? If this was a movie, it'd be parents who've abandoned their kids or parents who've mistreated the kids. They'd be the targets. That makes sense. Why are you going for tutors? If you're pissed at your parents for doing a bunk when you were younger, why are you doing it to tutors?
So I think with Jung, she initially was just going to target whoever. She was using the secondhand selling app to do this. I think she migrated towards the tutors, like I just said, an admiration for their lives. She started to build up a resentment towards someone who had what she wanted, someone who had academic success.
Right. Okay.
So I do believe that is at least part of the reason that Jung specifically chose this woman. Forensic psychology professor Lee So-jung said, quote, I think we can say that Jung wanted to have what the tutor had, such as her social status and academic background, and that is why she chose the victim. So again, that's kind of what I believe is the case. Now, something to kind of further that narrative, after the murder, not only did Jung dress in her clothing, but she also stole the woman's ID card. Now, the clothing could have very simply been because her clothes had become saturated in blood, but she did return to her own home. She could have grabbed some of her own clothing. And pair that with the fact that she stole the ID card, it makes it that much more creepy and single white female-ish. Do you know what I mean?
She wants to be her.
It kind of does feel like that. Unless she was planning to get rid of the ID card afterwards, but who knows? The whole image is a bit off.
Yeah, this is reminding me of, there's an episode of Only Fools and Horses where they go fishing and some psychopaths escaped a mental institute.
Institute, yeah.
Yeah, one of them. And they'd killed a guard and stole all his clothes and his ID cards, and then he was going around pretending to be him.
Right.
That's it. That's...
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you say? Only Fools and Horses?
Yeah.
Right. I love when something like triggers a memory for you and you have to. Like there's nothing further to say on it.
Yeah.
You're just telling me that happened in an episode of Only Fools and Horses.
Another point to make is the killings he did was on fishermen because he loved fish.
Because he loved fish?
Yeah.
So why are you killing the fishermen?
Because they was killing fish.
Oh, you mean he actually loved the animal? It wasn't like, I love eating fish. He loved fish.
Yeah, he hated people fishing.
Okay.
And he killed fishermen.
Right.
And they'd gone to do a
was
fishing
this like a Halloween special or something?
No.
No, okay.
No, they just went to stay in Boyce's cabin.
Right. Oh, I know that. Yeah, the storm and all that.
Yeah.
They're freaking themselves out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So that's not like this case at all, really. Yeah. Do you feel better for having gotten that out?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. Now, although Jung had never been diagnosed or treated for a psychiatric condition, she attempted to downplay her culpability, stating that she had suffered with hallucinations and other mental disorders, and she asked for a more lenient sentence because of this.
Get the violin out.
Oh, I mean, this was rejected by the court. They said that her crimes had been, quote, carefully planned and carried out, and it is difficult to accept her claim of mental or physical disorder.
Do you know why I wouldn't be good as a judge or a lawyer? Or just a member of the jury? Because I would just go, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care.
You form your opinion very quickly, and it's quite difficult to get you to, I don't even want to say change it, but open up.
Yeah.
I mean, now I have to say,
I've actually got a tiny little violin for when people are giving me a sob story.
Yeah.
I've put it out on you a few times and I'll start playing my little violin. I would have to have that in the courtroom. And as soon as they go, yeah, I did do it, but the reason why, they'd get that far and I'd start playing violin.
See, I was going to say, I think over time you have got better at, just trying to see someone else's perspective. But I think still, overall, you're just an arsehole.
Yeah.
Who kind of just wants to hear your voice and that's it. You know?
Well, you don't have to hear my voice, just listen to my violin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Professor Lee So-jung also said, quote, a person normally panics and becomes terrified when they kill someone, even if they are a criminal, but the scene shows no sign of panic or horror. Criminal profiler Bae Sang-hoon said, quote, it looks like Jung Yoo-jung's psychopathy awakened while she was living an isolated life for a long time. For Jung, there is a high possibility that she must not have been able to differentiate reality and the virtual world of murders she was into.
See, I don't agree with that. Saying, blaming isolation. When the psychotic side of me starts to come out is when I'm out in public. I'll be driving along and it's like, I could easily just steer onto that path. Or, if someone's cut me up on the road, I'm going to tear their fucking face off.
But there's a difference between intrusive thoughts.
Yeah.
And your reality is starting to morph and distort.
No, but how many times me and you have only just, all we've done is gone to do a weekly shop.
Yeah.
It's a 5-minute drive. We do our shopping and then it's a 5-minute drive back and I'm like, get me home. Fucking get me home.
No, I get that. But when someone gets in my way and I'm thinking I could kick your leg from under you, that's an intrusive thought. I'm not actually going to do it. I'm just thinking I could though. Couldn't I? I could.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Compared to
Sweep
someone
the
who's...
leg and all that.
All that. But there's a difference between that and someone who's starting to not understand right from wrong. Like, you know, we talk about murder all the time.
Yeah.
That's the show. I never, while reading this, thinking, I could do that.
Well,
I could. You know, that fucking arsehole who pissed me off there, I could just go and do this. I don't ever for a second cross into that. It doesn't ever become my reality. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, the only thing I do is on the podcast I'll say, oh, well, if I'd have done that, I'd have done it this way.
Yeah.
I like trying to improve the killer's method.
You do, yeah. You do have a bit of a tendency.
But I have a point. Like with this one, I would not have phoned a taxi and got in the taxi with a suitcase soaked in blood. I'd have put like bin bags inside the suitcase.
Yeah.
Waterproof it.
Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah, no, because a lot of people are like, well, just don't do it in the first place. But you're like, well, after the fact.
If you're going to do it.
If you're going to
do it right, is what I'm saying. Like,
no, I think
I'm saying this to Jung.
No, I get what you're saying, but I think a better way to kind of word it will be, you know, you're kind of going off, this has already happened. I'm working with what you're telling me. You know what I mean? But sometimes I feel like you get a little bit too into it, you know, and that's where I get a little bit concerned.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, I'm not going to do it.
I don't know that to be true, though, do I? You know?
You just have to trust me.
It was also said, quote, the background of the accused may have influenced the formation of an abnormal personality. So her upbringing, her parents leaving her, you know, they believe she's very angry about that, which I do believe could have been a contributing factor. I'm very into the nurture element versus nature. I think it is very fucking relevant to the conversation. But regardless of this, you know, Jung or anyone else still has to face the consequences of their actions. And for this, Jung was found guilty, convicted of murder, desecration and abandonment of a corpse. During sentencing, the judge said that this murder had, quote, spread fear in society that one can become a victim for no reason, and that it, quote, incited a general distrust. Now, although prosecutors were seeking the death penalty due to the brutality of her crimes, Jung was sentenced to life in prison. She will be eligible for parole after 20 years and will have to wear a tracking device for 30. So, the death penalty. In South Korea, the death penalty is still technically an option, but they have not carried out any executions since 1997, where 23 inmates were executed that December. The High Court ruled that the death penalty, quote, should be executed only in very limited and exceptional cases. So we're looking at more cases of multiple murders, serial killers, that kind of territory.
Yeah.
Although she'd been spared of the death penalty, Jung was unsatisfied with her sentence, and so she appealed the decision, believing that the punishment was too harsh.
So what?
It's not really harsh.
No.
Eligible for parole after 20 years.
20 years.
And you're only 23.
Yeah.
You're still young when you get out, like.
And you think how angry she were before? Imagine after 20 years in prison, how angry she's going to be.
She also submitted 19 letters of apology. Again, another discrepancy here. One article said that she had actually submitted 60 statements since the start of her trial. So, again, I'm not entirely sure what the truth is. What I think might be the case, both are true, and the 19 letters were since her conviction.
Right.
Either way, her appeal was dismissed, and her letters were seen as disingenuous as her manner had been described as, quote, deliberate and contrived.
So it's just strategic.
It's just bollocks.
Yeah.
You know? When speaking of her crimes, Jung said, quote, I apologise to the victim and her family. I must have been out of my mind.
Out of her mind to do the murder or out of her mind to contact the victim's family?
To actually commit the crime.
Okay.
Her grandfather, he also spoke, and he said, quote, I want to express my sincerest apology to the victim's family for failing to raise my granddaughter properly. That like hit me in the heart.
I feel so bad for him. I forgot about him.
Yeah, you do. Once you get into the case and then you go, this man was raising her.
Yeah.
He took on the responsibility. And then she goes and does this. And he's just there kind of like, oh, fuck. Like,
and now he's on his own.
Yeah.
He's going to die while she's in Slammer.
Well, you don't know. It depends what age. It's only 20 years. Assuming.
Yeah.
She gets out.
I doubt she will.
I don't know.
Oh.
Do you not remember when we talked about the Hello Kitty murder?
I remember us covering it.
One of the lads got out. Now, he had to go back in for doing some terrible shit. But what I'm saying to you is, you know, and that was Japan, not South Korea.
Yeah.
But assuming the systems are more similar in nature, there is a likelihood that she will get out, you know, at the 20-year mark. It's kind of a weird one, though, isn't it? So, you know, again, if we look at cases in Japan, so like obviously they have the death penalty and they do implement it. South Korea, like they've said, they don't really. It's still technically there, but it's pretty much abolished at this point.
Yeah.
But it seems slightly more similar in that you may get sentenced, but you're more likelihood to get out. Whereas, you know, if we look at like a lot of European countries, we'll have, you know, obviously different laws in different countries. But overall, we don't seem to give harsh sentences. It has to be the worst of the worst who are getting like a life sentence. Even then, they'll get a life sentence, but, you know, we talked about Sutcliffe. It was at the very last minute changed to a whole life tariff.
Yeah.
You know, I get the sense it's kind of like that over there. They will get sentenced, but in a lot of countries, some of them, are very severe.
Yeah.
But Japan, Korea type area, South Korea.
Like, I think I saw something a couple of weeks back. I think I showed it you. And I can't remember if it were the UK or if it were America. But it was saying something about upping it to life for rape. Or was it on rape on children? It was upping it to life.
Look, I personally feel that cases of, you know, abuse, torture, any type of sexual abuse should be taken a hell of a lot more seriously than it is.
Yeah.
If someone has committed the act of rape, I think a life sentence is fair. That's end of.
Like I'd rather be murdered than raped. Why is that funny?
No, the wording again is just whatever. But I agree with you, because to me, it's, you know, right. People feel like murder is the worst of the worst because it's final. And I get that. I really fucking do. But my personal thing is, when you want to prolong a person's suffering, you want them in pain. You want them in misery. You want them hurt.
Yeah.
You're the worst of the worst to do that. You know, there's cases of murder where someone has been shot because of a drug deal or something. It's not okay. I'm not in any way trying to justify it, but we understand how it happens with rivals and feuds and things like that.
Yeah.
When you want to, you know, a case of lock someone up, or in this case, you have arranged a meeting to go into their house solely for the purpose to cause them harm.
Yeah.
You're fucked.
The one that always comes to mind for me is the bone breaker killer.
That's absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
His entire thing was to prolong a person's suffering.
Yeah.
And it's actually a very good case to bring up, because it wasn't just he was going in there, injuring this person, leaving them to sit there. He was doing something that caused significant, prolonged periods of pain.
Yeah. Still don't know what movie they watched together, though.
So, in this case, although I do believe the combination of isolation and, you know, escaping into the world of true crime is a factor, I think the overwhelming theme is Jung's inferiority complex, which she allowed to devour her being.
Yeah, they need to stop with that shit. You know, there's fucking millions of people out there who can be obsessed and listen to true crime podcasts and watch true crime documentaries and research true crime cases themselves. And that's it. I enjoyed listening to that podcast. I enjoyed watching that documentary and leaving it at that. So don't use it as a factor of that's why she did it. It's not an excuse.
No, I think there has to be something there. It's the whole argument for like video games. Just because you play a violent video game or watch a violent film or what have you, you're not going to go on and do these things. Something has to already be there.
Yeah.
In your personality to then trigger it.
Yeah.
You cannot blame a video game.
Yeah.
For that. I think that's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually had the argument with a friend's parent. They wouldn't let their child play GTA. And I was like, well, are you scared he's going to go out, just drag someone out of the car, joyride the car, get out, and then shoot someone in the face with an RPG? No.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the thing, right? So when I was younger, my parents allowed me to play like violent games and, shit like that. Now, maybe they didn't realise the extent of it. I don't know. But I always found it odd when I had friends who weren't allowed to do that. But then, again, looking back, I kind of think, well, did they see something in their kid that they were like, nope, not a chance?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Maybe.
Yeah. What was your friend like? Was he a bit of a... Would you have kept an eye on him?
No.
Oh, okay. So
No.
maybe the parents were just overprotective in that case.
Yeah.
Or again, maybe there's something you didn't see.
They were just one of them parents who were like, it says 18.
Yeah. You were
and
not.
It's like, you think he's going to wait until he's 18 to play that?
Yeah. What age was he at the time?
Probably like 13.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, depends on the child.
Yeah.
Depends on the fucking adult. But yeah, to sum up, the woman that Jung chose to attack was not just a freelance tutor and a popular one at that, but she was also a student of a prestigious university. She represented what Jung aspired to be, but failed to become. Well, Neil, that is the case of Jung Yoo-jung. Any comments?
I kind of like it when you can talk about the victims.
Yeah.
Like their background and so I can, get to know them a bit. But I fully understand, whether it's the victim's family or whatever, like, keep it out.
I'm actually so glad you brought that up. That was kind of something I wanted to address. I wanted to put a question out to the mortals because it's something that I think about a lot. I've discussed it with you many a time. In true crime, we often hear that it needs to be more victim centralised. I do respect that, and I mean, from listening to the podcast, I'll always make an effort to cover cases as such when and where the information is available to me. But my personal opinion is that I prefer a system and reporting of this style, as I think at times people can kind of make it so the fact that the person was murdered is the overwhelming point of their lives. Everything else about them, regardless of how many times it's been spoken about, their name is now forever associated with the killer.
Yeah.
The killer, in my eyes, they've chosen this, they've allowed eyes on them. The victim of their crimes did not choose this. Like I said, if the information about these people is, fairly easily accessed, or the family have put it out there, they specifically want you to talk about it, that's fine and I'll use, but I'm not going to go digging through files or social media accounts to find out more. I personally think that's a bit invasive and kind of leaning into the voyeuristic nature of it. Do you know what I mean? Now, that's not to say there's anything wrong with family members wanting to put the information out there. Keep their name going, of course, I understand that. As well as the fact that, the other side of the argument, I'm not condoning those who discard the information about victims of a crime just because they want to hear all the gruesome details and, they kind of get some kind of kick out of it. I think that people tend to veer to one extreme or another. Just because you use wording like victim focus doesn't mean you necessarily care more. And I think there is definitely some content out there that uses terminology like this to appear holier than thou.
Yeah.
It's about their ego rather than giving attention to the cases.
Like, I'm so happy that you said that. So I was trying to think of a way where I can put it into words what's going through my head when I'm joking about. So a lot of them sort of podcasts what are like very, what you just said.
Victim focused.
Yeah. Now, not all of them, but there has been some who have looked down on us because we had humour.
Yeah, 100%.
They see it as it's disrespectful. But the way I look at it is, my goal is not just to make the listeners laugh and make it a bit easier for them to listen to. Like if a family member of a victim, if they contacted and said, "You made me laugh,"
yeah,
that's my end game. I would love, I'm trying to make it even easier for them.
Yeah, well, like I just said, I tend to feel people who kind of do that and look down on others. Again, it's about your ego. You want to be this kind of, wholesome, good example.
Yeah.
You're better than others because you're so focused in.
Yeah.
But, I just don't think that's the case. And I'll tell you something else I massively take issue with. Again, this is something I've discussed with you. From my understanding, a lot of people don't necessarily want the title of victim thrust upon them. Again, it's forcing them to be forever associated with their killer or abuser. They may have been a victim of a crime, but they're not a victim full stop.
Yeah.
They're people with names, families, likes, dislikes, just like anyone else.
Yeah.
Like I said, I know, like we've talked about it, and Neil, you agree with me on that point. But how do you feel in regards to, like I said, my initial point, the argument for privacy versus publicity?
Well, that was, so always privacy. Like, if the victim's family wants to keep their name out of it, keep their name out of it. But what I have noticed with, the more victim-focused podcasts, they're the ones who'll cross the boundary.
That's what I mean. Look, I know of people who dig a bit too far where I feel like it's actually inappropriate or violating some boundaries.
Yeah.
And the goal is to have a good episode.
Yeah.
Rather than actually care about what the people want to put out there about them or their family or what have you.
Yeah.
I understand people wanting to talk about, and that's absolutely fine. But I know my opinion is the unpopular one, but let me know if you either agree, completely disagree, or maybe you don't feel the same, but you can understand my point.
Yeah.
And Japan and South Korea's point.
Yeah. Yeah, like, again, with what I said about the laughter, laughter is a fucking good medicine.
But it's also the argument for, if someone prefers a bit of humour, right? So we're still getting the case out that we're talking about it. We're just doing it in a slightly different format to someone who takes himself a bit too seriously.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Again, it's not about you as the host. That's not the point. But I think some people get a bit caught up in that.
So, oddity.
The overnight stay. So earlier this month, a woman named Therese booked for her and her family to stay in a holiday home in County Wexford.
Okay.
Now, they wouldn't be there long, like I said, just an overnight stay for herself, her husband and 2 kids, and this was to attend a family member's birthday party. Now, when they arrived at the property, she was greeted by the landlord, who then showed her around the home. So that was grand, but she did find it a bit odd that the landlord had chosen to put a load of washing into the dryer before leaving.
Well, like towels and that.
Well, whatever it was, but, like in her mind, she, it's his house. Okay, it's not that big of a deal, but could you not have done that like an hour before?
Yeah.
So, it's his gaff. She kind of doesn't make a big deal out of it. Anyway, family head out to the gathering and they arrive home a few hours later to find the washing machine is now running.
He thinks he's staying there with them.
Yeah. It's a bit odd. Like, she's kind of like, what the fuck's going on? So, feeling a bit uneasy that the man may have still been within the property, her husband goes upstairs to have a quick sweep of the rooms. Although he didn't see or find anything, he said that he felt, quote, a little bit weird. It was then that the couple noticed something odd in the living room. It looked to be sort of a partition wall. They approached it, and upon closer inspection, they realised there was actually a piece of plasterboard loosely placed against the wall.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So the husband, he moves the board and looks behind it. But there's nothing there. He's just staring into darkness, okay? Yeah. Then he hears a voice.
No.
A man calls out, hey, hey, like, you know, as if like, hey, what are you doing?
Oh my God.
Yeah. After this, the couple, rightly so, quickly grab their kids and get the fuck out of there. Therese described the situation as horrifying and scary. Quote, the blood drained from my face and the kids were frozen in one spot. We had to physically move them. Their jaws dropped.
See, like, whenever we're talking about going away, like whether it's for, you know, a podcast convention or if it's just for a trip, you know, and we'll be giving out about hotel prices and you'll always get someone going, well, have you checked an Airbnb?
Fuck that.
Like, I look at them, but I've never stayed in one. You never hear of this shit with hotels.
I'm not... Right, because some people have it in their head, right? Oh, you know what it is? It's the same argument me and you have. So you like the country, I'm more of a city person, right? So you have more the logic of there's more people to harm you in the city, and I think there's more people to hear me scream.
Yeah.
And it's the same with a hotel. There's more people in the same building as me, but there's more people to hear me scream.
Yeah, I'm in their habitat.
Yes.
If I stay in an Airbnb, they know all the ins and outs and
nooks and crannies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I know if I stayed in an Airbnb, they'd just be watching me masturbating. Not me, man. No, hang on. They would be masturbating watching me.
Yeah.
Is what I mean.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake.
Do you know what it is? I think one element which is very disturbing to me, they couldn't even see into the wall. Or into the walls. It was just pitch black.
Yeah, imagine if he'd have got his lighter out and just lit it.
No,
his face appears.
They didn't even know if he was moving around behind the walls or just sort of sat in the one little spot. Do you know what I mean? They had no idea of his like scope within the property.
Fucking in Wexford.
That's
banjos.
100%. I'm not actually sure which is worse. Which to you would bother you more? Them moving around the building or just the creepiness of them just being sat in their little spot? Their little fucking nook.
Fucking both.
Which is, oh God, I don't know. That's kind of creepier because it's the dedication to it. If he had like his own little walkway, you'd be like, right, he's doing his own thing, he's living his fucking life.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're that dedicated to stalking these people or whatever you're planning on doing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like when you hear of these people who stay in Airbnbs and they go, right, what you do when you first get there, you lock the door behind you and then you check in the mirror. There's a way you get the flashlight on your phone and you shine it at a mirror and you'll be able to see if there's a camera.
Yeah.
And then you do this and then you do that and it's like, oh, you could just stay in a fucking hotel.
Well, speaking of reflections, Neil, Therese also noted that, you know the film you put in the windows which deflects the sun?
Yeah.
So it doesn't, you know, people can't see into the property or whatever.
They were on backwards.
Yes, he had that on the outside so you could not see out.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get this logic when people are like, yeah, take all these steps to stay safe in an Airbnb. And it's like, or boycott fucking Airbnb.
Yeah.
Like, me personally, I think just because you have a property, you shouldn't be able to just put it up on the Airbnb. You need to be vetted.
100%. You know what this fucking house sounds like?
Go on.
Somewhere you're never getting out of alive. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The thing is as well, like Therese even said she wouldn't have been bothered if the man had been staying in the house while they were there. You know, if they viewed it as more of a B&B type situation, he's upstairs, they're downstairs, or, you know, whatever the arrangement was. It's it's taking that away from them. That kind of, Now, Booking.com said that they, quote, take safety and security very seriously and have launched an investigation as well as having suspended the property listing.
Suspended?
Yeah.
He had an hole in the wall. He was in a hole in the wall.
Yeah.
Investigate what?
I personally think the couple should be heavily compensated for this. Who the fuck knows what this man was planning? Even if he didn't plan to physically harm them, he was at least an absolute creepy bastard.
A weirdo.
Who will have left this family traumatized. Therese said, quote, even in my own home now, I know I am safe, but I'm still psychologically affected by it. It's terrifying. I feel so bad for this family. This is the stuff of fucking nightmares.
Do
I'm just talking about having to stay in Wexford.
Yeah. Do you know when like I'll say to you, when you'll go, you don't know what you do in that situation, and I'm always like, fucking windmill. Just fucking windmill.
No, you couldn't.
That, looking into the pitch black and just hearing a voice.
You're not good with the dark either.
I'm not going forwards.
No.
I know that for a fact.
You've got your 2 kids there as well.
Yeah, I'd probably stand there at the hole and telling you to get out with the kids. And then once you're out, then I'll get out. Imagine
how terrified you and your partner would be in that situation. But then you look over at your kids and you see them scared. You're more likely to get confrontational because you're angry that you've done that to my kids. Do you get what I mean? So the situation can go very fucking bad.
I'd probably scream to you, get me a nail gun, and then put the piece, put the piece of plasterboard back up and nail him in.
I was going to say, you're only there for the overnight.
Yeah.
It's not like you have anything with you.
Just plaster it, wallpaper it.
You've brought a spare pair of knickers, and a pair of socks. And
a couple of pairs in case you shit yourself.
I mean, for me, yes, just in case.
In fact, I probably would.
Yeah. Well, you definitely would have in that situation.
Yeah, if I'd have heard the voice, damn me leg.
Oh, I actually can't.
I'd have to quickly get the shit stoppers ready.
No good.
No.